Okay, so this is going to be a short video on how to play Ascension, Chronicle of the Godslayer on Vassal. You can see here I've got Vassal open, Ascension's already loaded. If I didn't have it loaded, I just go to File, Open Module, go look for where I downloaded it, and then double click on the Ascension vmod, and then it will load it in there. Now let's double click on it to start the game. First thing you want to do is select the mode, so you can actually just play offline or go online or actually load a saved game, which is nice because you can save the state of the game, and then if you get interrupted, you can come back. Ascension doesn't take that long to play, so I don't think that'll be that useful for this, but it could happen. And there's a couple different ways to play online. You can play just by connecting to the Vassal server. You can play peer-to-peer, IP address to IP address. You can even play via email. So you can take turns playing via email, which is that'd be an interesting way to play, but it's possible. Um, and the configuration for that stuff is in help. If you click on help, it'll open the Vassal manual. It's a PDF document, and it'll tell you all the different ways to do it. It's pretty straightforward. So typically, I think people would just connect to the Vassal server and tell their buddy to connect, and then away they go. We'll do offline just to show us everything. So you can pick 2, 3, or 4 player. This doesn't really matter. You can actually just pick 4 player and it'll set up the right number of honor tokens if you wanted to have sort of an extended 2 player game or something. All this really does is configure the number of honor. So do that next, and then let's just do player 1. So it loads. Now we're in the game. So you see you got your layout here. You got your cards, your honor tokens, your available cards, your cultists. And you can right click on a lot of stuff. So right click on this and shuffle it, or I just put a big shuffle portal deck there. Get it mixed up real good. Go ahead and draw some cards here. Good little variety of stuff. Some heroes, some constructs, a monster. Okay, so you can see if you hover over it, it'll give you a little bit clearer view of the card. You got your honor tokens here. Now there's the right amount of honor for a 2-player game, so if I keep drawing these, we'll run out and the game will be on its last turn. You got a little dice roller here. If you want to roll dice for some reason to start the game, you can. There's a little undo button, which will just undo your last move. So if I move that and then hit undo, it'll go back in case somebody makes a mistake or gets ahead of themselves. Um, okay, so let's go over to your hand, and this will actually everybody will see this individually. You'll have your little starter deck of militia and apprentice, and you can draw those 5 cards. So I got our 5 cards drawn. You can see how it's reporting everything that's done over here in the chat window, which you can actually chat with your buddy. If you don't have Vent or an IM, you can just chat right in there. It's pretty handy. So you can select all these cards here. Oop, I didn't get that one right. Select the cards, drag them over. They got stacked up. So if they get stacked up, you just double click, and then you can drag them over. So if you lose a card on top of another card, just say, oh, there you go, double click, and it's there. So I've got the dreaded 4 and 1 first draw here. So let's just pretend I can buy this one. So you can see you can right click on this and send it to the void. Let's draw it back out, right click and send it to your hand, and it'll just put it right in your discard pile. So that way you're not having to click and manually drag everything. So you can actually highlight all of these, send them all to your discard pile, and say, let's say I didn't mean to do that. Oops, I'll hit undo, and I'll go back, and I can just do it back again. Draw the next card. And so that's kind of not much more to it than that, really. Let's say I had some man out here, and I was trying to keep track of what I'd paid. I can right click and face down. It's like, okay, I've already spent these. Now I can spend these other cards because later turns you get kind of hairy, hairy in a good way. So anyway, so now you can see that I've actually got a score going already. So as I stole that Hedron link device, it's got, okay, here's my points. And if I had some tokens over here, I hit refresh, I got 14 points. So I got some tokens and I got some cards. Now this is kind of nice because it does show you all the cards that are in your deck, which is maybe cheating, maybe not. I mean, I think it's nice because in real life you kind of see the cards go by you, and you kind of some people probably keep a running total of all the points they have. I don't do that, but this to kind of give you a better idea. I think it helped with play testing as well. You know, you can kind of say, oh well, I had this many cards. You know, I had this many constructs or this many mechana, and and I lost the game or I won the game. So that'll keep you track of how many points that you have. If you click on this show players tokens buttons, it'll just show everybody's tokens. So if there were more players here, you'd see their little folders for them, and you could see how many total points they have here and the number of tokens. So you can see, each who's piling up the tokens, so to speak. And, you need to start preventing that if you can. Um, okay. So you can, and a couple things here. Let's say I drew all these cards out, and then, okay, I'm done. I got to just right click this, return all cards to your deck, and then you can shuffle it a few times. So that makes it pretty easy to, reshuffle your discard into your draw pile. A couple other things. Oh, this is a little pass button. So Eco Mouse passes their turn. Um, and the last thing is constructs. So kind of played around a little bit with where to stick these and not have it completely confusing. So if you hide your hand there, you can see we have these 4 rows of constructs, player 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I put these over here, I can see, okay, this is my row, and, you know, my buddy's on player 2, and so we can see who's got how many constructs, and it kind of goes off a little bit here. I have had a few games where we get like 8 constructs out, but that's pretty rare, and usually somebody gets a tyrant out and clears that after one turn. So that should be enough room, I think. Um, One thing to keep in mind though is when the game's over and you want to count everything, just move your constructs into there because it only counts stuff that's either on your board here, in your deck, or in your discard pile. It'll just basically count anything on the screen, tokens, cards, whatever. Um, and then when you run out of tokens at the end of the game and somebody does score some honor points, you can just drag these out and stick them in your deck. And, those will count as the honor you don't have available to quote unquote, steal from your box or whatever. So anyway, I hope you guys have fun with it. I had fun making it. This is a great game. It's basically infinite drafting for $30 or $40 or however many expansions come out. So that's pretty much all I ever needed in a game. So anyway, thanks.